Wonder coming at you from my van down by the river. So I wanted to talk about this series that's out on the Paramount network that is about the Waco siege. The Waco siege was a historical time that I lived through. If you've heard me speak on any of my videos about my past, you might know that I lived very near to Waco at the time of these events, and that I feel very well connected. You just have to look no further than my video. The Waco incident led me to Christ. That there's a story, and how my story is intertwined with what happened there. So it's a topic I know a great deal about. For me, in a lot of ways, this signaled the beginning of the end times. And it was a very significant event, not just in my life, but I think in history. And it is connected directly to what's going on right now as Donald Trump battles the deep state and the corrupt bureaus that think they are above the law. The six-part miniseries is halfway through now. It airs on Wednesday nights. And I was concerned that it would just be a government propaganda piece, that all we would see was their side of the story, and that the truth would not be well documented and represented. Now, having said that, I'm 3 episodes into the 6-part miniseries, and I gotta say that my fears were for the most part unfounded. That the series so far seems to be accurate as far as I can tell, and very much portrays, I think, accurately what was going on in Waco. And it does not at all sugarcoat the malfeasance and the mistakes and the blunders and the arrogance committed by the ATF. I do think that it paints the FBI in too much of a good light, that in this show they're kind of the hero, the one character is. But there's a reason for that. Because this is historical and events that actually occurred, this miniseries is written based on 2 books. One written by a survivor of Mount Carmel and the Branch Davidian cultists, and the other one is written by the FBI negotiator who was successful at Ruby Ridge negotiation but failed to bring many people out of the Branch Davidian compound. And so this is written from his perspective. From his perspective, the ATF were the bad guys in both of those incidences. That both Ruby Ridge and Waco were botched operations by the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Bureau. And that the FBI, specifically him as a hostage negotiator, had to come in and clean up the messes that they had made through bad police work, essentially, and the militarization of the federal police forces, which was occurring at the time, and it had just occurred. And that there was this push-pull between the hostage rescue team, the HRT, and the hostage negotiator himself, who was trying to bring about a peaceful solution to both of these incidences. I do think that they were a bit inaccurate concerning Ruby Ridge. They did not show how the Ruby Ridge encounter started. The story starts midstream of the Ruby Ridge encounter and leaves out the part where the U.S. Marshal sniper kills the family dog, then is shot at by a 12-year-old boy who he then kills, and then is killed by the boy's older friend of the family companion who was with him at the encounter. And that exchange also puts, I believe, well, it proves that both Ruby Ridge and Waco, I believe, were started when the federal agents murdered canines. And it triggers, you shoot someone's dog, they talk about fighting words. You kill a family pet and you're going to get an armed response from most rednecks. I mean, John Wick, what did they do? They killed his dog and stole his car or something like that. And that triggered all that violence. So, I mean, that's kind of what happened in both situations. And they show that. They do show the ATF in a bad light, and rightfully so, in this miniseries. However, other than that, other than the FBI being played up as the good guys at this point, at the halfway mark, I think they're fair with the Davidians. I think they show David Koresh is highly intelligent, well-versed in the Bible, charismatic, manipulative, and I don't, they leave it up to you whether he's evil or not. I will say this, Old Testament, polygamy is the thing, and you married girls when they turned 12 or 13 years old. That's historically the way that people lived up until really Victorian times started to change things and make that kind of life more and more illegal. But even into the 19th and early 20th century, there was, and still is to this day, polygamy in the Mormon church with the same kind of activities where you marry off girls before they get old enough to want a boyfriend. And that way you ensure you're passing on virgins to new husbands who are often older. I am not at all saying that that's a good thing. I'm just saying that that's the way things used to be, and he is correct in how that would be followed if you were following the Bible in some strict interpretation of the Old Testament and its laws. He jumps the shark when he starts sleeping with other people's wives, though, and that's where he steps into cult land. And they rightfully show that. They do show that that's kind of behind what he wants. But he's also he's a true believer. They show, and I believe they get him right. The guy went down with the ship. He believed what he believed, and that was it. And so if you get a chance to check this out, we got 3 more to go. You can catch up on the 3 and binge watch it. So far, we'll see. I don't know that they're going to show flames coming out of the tanks like I saw on television as a Dallas-Fort Worth watcher while it was live. I saw it happen. I don't think they're going to show that since that's been suppressed, covered up, and expunged by the deep state. But I will say this, that if you want to check it out yourself, it's a good watch. I think it's well acted. It's on Wednesday nights. The lead actor does a great job portraying David Koresh, and I think everything is historically accurate so far. All right, so that's my take on Waco, the miniseries. All right, see you next time, and God save the Republic.